Namaste and welcome to Curiosity. I'm your host Samarth Chitta and this is episode 116. Today we are welcoming back our segment Unscroll Weekly. Each week I take a little break from all the chaos around me to explore the stories that really got me thinking. From big world events to small ideas that still have a huge impact. Whether it's something I'd read, watched, or just couldn't stop wondering about, I'll be sharing it here. Every episode I'll pick one topic that really got my attention. Something from the news, science, history, or even everyday life. Dive into it. Do a little bit of my own digging, and then share my take. If you like asking questions and learning something new each week, take a minute, unscroll, and let's explore together. Let's start off with this week's news headline. The Earth's ozone layer is healing, and the hole over Antarctica is the smallest it's ever been. When I read that, I thought, wow, we always hear bad news about the environment, such as carbon emissions and climate change. But here's a success story. Why not dive into it? Firstly, a little bit of context. Just imagine that the Earth is going to the beach. What's the first thing it'll grab? Sunscreen, right? That's what the ozone layer is. Earth's sunscreen. It's a thin, invisible shield made up of special type of oxygen molecules called ozone. Normally, oxygen has two atoms, O2, as it's a diatomic element. Ozone is just oxygen but with three atoms, O3. The tiny difference is what makes it powerful. Ozone layer sits high up above us in the stratosphere. That's the Earth's second layer of the atmosphere, and it's about 15 to 35 kilometers up from where we live. And up there, the ozone's job is to block out most of the sun's ultraviolet or UV rays. UV rays may sound harmless, but I'm sure you must have seen it on sunscreen, SPF that protects you from these UV rays. Just like that, UV causes skin cancer, cataracts in the eye, sunburn, crop damage, and even harm to ocean plankton, which are the tiny organisms at the base of our food chain. Without ozone, life on Earth would be in serious trouble. Back in the 1980s, scientists made a shocking discovery. Over Antarctica, the ozone layer was thinning dramatically. People started calling it the ozone hole. Now, it wasn't a literal hole, more like a patch where the ozone levels were way lower than they should be, but it was still extremely dangerous. But you must be asking, what caused this? Well, the culprits are human-made chemicals called CFCs, also known as chlorofluorocarbons. At the time, CFCs were everywhere in spray cans, refrigerators, and air conditioners. CFCs float up into the atmosphere. The sun's radiation breaks them apart. That releases chlorine atoms. And here's the real scary bit. One chlorine atom can destroy thousands of ozone molecules. And as these chlorine molecules started floating into the sky, more and more of the ozone was being destroyed. So, every spring in Antarctica, when cold temperatures make special clouds form, CFCs go on a rampage eating away at the ozone. The world realized that this was a serious issue. Imagine a future where us kids couldn't play safely outside in the sun because the UV rays were way too harmful for us. That's how urgent it was. And here's the hopeful part. Countries came together and signed the Montreal Protocol in 1987. It was a global agreement to phase out the CFCs and other ozone-destroying chemicals, and almost every single country on Earth signed it, making it one of the world's most successful treaties ever. And you'd be surprised, but it worked. Companies started finding safer alternatives. CFC use dropped significantly, and slowly the ozone layer began to heal itself. Fast forward to today. Scientists from the World Meteorological Organization say that the ozone hole is now shrinking, and if current trends continue, ozone layer could return to 1980 levels around 2060 to 2066. That's huge progress. It means that fewer UV rays will reach the Earth, and this means fewer health risks and healthier ecosystems all around. In 2024, the ozone hole was much smaller than it had been in many years. It's not completely fixed yet, but it's definitely on the mend. For me, this story is just more than about science. It's proof that us citizens of Earth can solve big problems when we work and think together. Think about it. The ozone crisis was global, invisible, and dangerous. It needed cooperation across science, politics, and everyday life from all of us, from countries, and from citizens like us. And we did it. That gives me hope for today's challenges like climate change. If we tackle this one invisible threat, who knows what else we can do? And before we end this episode, let's just have a few fun facts. Let's firstly start off with why Antarctica is where this ozone hole is the most problematic. This is due to the fact that in extreme cold temperature, there are special clouds in the stratosphere. These clouds help CFCs release chlorine, which restores the ozone faster. Now, is ozone also always good? I've just mentioned that the ozone helps protect our Earth, and it's almost like it's sunscreen. But in reality, it's not as helpful as we thought. High up in the stratosphere, ozone is extremely helpful, but near the ground, in the air that we breathe, ozone can be harmful. It's actually a pollutant that irritates our lungs. Ozone is really good up high, but bad nearby. And finally, ozone and the sky's color. The reason that the sky looks blue is mostly due to sunlight scattering, but ozone also absorbs some of these wavelengths of light, helping shape the way we see our bright blue skies. So, in conclusion, the healing of the ozone layer is like a giant science lesson written across the sky. It shows us that humans can cause global damage. We've seen this due to the CFCs, but also global healing if we take matters into our own hands and deal with it appropriately. Science can also give us the warning, but action and cooperation will truly make the difference. And finally, nature, if given the chance, has the incredible ability to recover. So, the next time you step outside, maybe put on sunscreen, wear your sunglasses, and also take a moment to remember, high above you, a shield is slowly repairing itself, thanks to the choices that people made decades ago. And that's something worth looking up to. That's it for this week's episode of Unscroll Weekly. Next week, I'll be back for a brand new episode with another topic that really got me thinking. Don't forget to unscroll a little bit more in your own life this week. Until next week, goodbye, and Jai Hind from Curiosity.